Surprise, everybody. We're back with a special episode of High on Feminism called Where Are They Now? Little nod to our 90s, you know, the celebs that used to like have some fallouts and drug problems, but she doesn't have one. We are joined today by Melissa Alam. She is the founder of Alam Digital, a digital marketing agency that she started in Philly, brought it to Mexico, and now is in Cairo, Egypt. Melissa, welcome back.
Hi. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here.
And of course, we're here in beautiful Barcelona. Of course. Welcome to my city. Welcome to the loveliness of the streets and the smells and the food and
All the tortillas.
the patatas
croquetas.
bravas, you know, all of that good shit. But welcome back. I'm so excited. We just finished our like 5th season in February. We're not going to start the new one until probably like September, October. And so I was like, what could we do? Like, we should try to see if like people want to come and like, you know, people are always visiting. Like Barcelona is like a tourist city, obviously. So I've had so many people from the past that I know have been here and have thought about coming here, especially now that I'm here. And I'm like, yeah, come. And then I was like, oh my God, wait, actually, that would be so cool to like do little check-in episodes with people. I mean, the last time we recorded was like 2023.
Yeah, I was blonde.
Yeah. Yes, you were. Oh my God. That was such a long time ago.
I was blonde and lost in life, and I still am.
At the time, I think you were like splitting your time between Philly and Mexico City, right?
Yeah, I officially went nomadic August 2023. So I forgot when we shot. It must have been before
I think it was
that.
in the fall. So it must have been like maybe like right before you left.
Okay, yeah, I did come back
Yeah.
for a little bit, as I always do. But yeah, it's a lot has changed.
Yeah.
For both of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really love how we both moved out of the
At the
US.
same
Yeah,
time.
the same damn time.
Yes. Yes. Well, because originally, like, I think when like you and I had met again, like, I don't know if it was before you left or like right after, but we definitely talked about you being in Mexico City. And like, to me, I think you were like one of the first people that I knew was like doing their own thing and actually was like moving out of the country. And so that's sort of like, I had already had the idea of like, oh, I'm going to move to Spain, but I hadn't really thought it was a possibility. And then I was like, oh, wait, I'm like, she's doing it. Like, I could do it.
But that's how it goes. I mean, you see other people doing it and you're like inspired. And yeah, I think that's all it takes sometimes is to be like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then also once you do it once, like once I moved to Mexico City, that was kind of like my testing round.
Yeah.
That was like Mexico City walked so I could run in Cairo, basically. Because I was very cushioned in Mexico City. I had a lot of friends there. I moved into 2 of my friends. They had an extra room, so I didn't have to like, you know, bother with the apartment hunting or anything. It was a very comfortable, easy move for me. And then Cairo was a bit different because I was all alone, didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just,
Which is still like so crazy in and of itself. Like, not only just traveling by yourself, but also just moving somewhere by yourself. Like, kudos to you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, there was like a time where like I thought maybe I was gonna have to move by myself because my man was like very hesitant.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna do it, you know? But like even now I just think back on it and I'm like, oh my God, like, would I have been able to do it? I mean, obviously I would have, you know, I figured it out. Like, I'm a woman, you know, but like, it's scary. And to like also go to a country where like you don't really like speak the language or like know the customs that well, like, especially as a woman, you know, we were talking last night about, you know, what it's like to be in Cairo and what standards are for women there, which is like, as American women, like US Americans, you know, we're not used to that. You know, people be out here in the streets naked.
yeah, it's very different in Egypt.
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah. What was that sort of like? Was there a culture shock when you moved to Cairo, or like what was that like kind of transitioning?
Yeah, I mean, I come from like a Muslim background. Like my mom is pretty religious. I'm from Bangladesh. My parents are from Bangladesh. So I'm used to that culture.
Hmm.
So it wasn't too like I did this with intention. I moved to Cairo impulsively, but with intention because I wanted to one feel challenged because I
Hmm.
feel like you can grow as a person. Um and develop more as a person once you're challenged in these situations.
Yeah.
And being in like me being in my comfort zone just makes me very bored. So
Yeah.
that there was like this excitement about, hey, I think I like the city. Let me just move in 2 months. And then in terms of like the culture, yeah, I mean, I dress more halal now, I'd say. Like
Yeah.
I left all my hoe clothes in Philadelphia.
Yeah. That should be like a song title or a book title. I left my hoe clothes in
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
But then I like when I travel, like obviously, to Europe or Asia or something,
Yeah.
I bring my short dresses out and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
funny, it's like, yeah, because people stare, basically.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, like the men there, they stare. I don't want that attention. Like you can wear whatever you want, sure, but
Yeah.
you will get attention. I think it's worse in Bangladesh, to be honest, because I was there in April a few months ago.
Hmm.
And it was a little bit more uncomfortable as a woman, I will say.
Yeah.
And Egypt has this reputation of being like really unsafe and really like, I don't know, like a lot of negative things. And that's why
Yeah.
I initially went back in 2024, at the end of 2024. I was like, let me make my own like assumption.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine at the time, she was hosting these trips. I had some extra cash. It just kind of like worked out. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, sign me up.
Divine timing.
Yeah. And then I just had a blast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is not like nothing like what I see on these TikToks. Like I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
There was this energy there. And I just kind of like followed that energy. And yeah, I'm there. It's been over a year now. This is the
So
first time I've
crazy.
like renewed my lease in an apartment. I move every year somewhere.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know. It's changed my life for the better in many ways.
Yeah.
Very humbling experience as well. But
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, Egypt has definitely always been on my bucket list, but like we were saying last night, I struggle sometimes with it. Like I do always want to be like the most respectful of like other cultures and stuff like that, but obviously as I've grown older and learned more about especially just like women in other cultures, it's hard for me sometimes with the cultures that are more like you need to cover up, like the woman needs to cover up. And I get that it is like a very long standing, historical significance and fighting back and forth on like if this is something that should happen and all of that. But for me, it's just like I want to go and respect them, but it's like it's just so hard for me, like deep down inside,
mhm,
I don't know. It's frustrating that they're just perpetuating this continued understanding for young girls and women that like our bodies, are almost something to be ashamed of and covered
mhm,
up. And obviously there's very extremes, like you're living in Cairo and I'm living in Barcelona where like I go to the beach in the morning and the abuelas have their titties out and, it's like a
yeah,
titty fest.
yeah.
And even sometimes too, like you see dick and balls on the beach, like no one
Which
cares
beach?
here. Any beach you go to.
Just kidding. Drop a pin.
They're not like that's the thing. It's like women's boobs look way better than like
Yeah,
no one wants to see balls.
yeah.
Like it's not something you want to see. But it's just one of those things where it's like two different extremes and they're both beautiful places. And especially like
Mhm.
Egypt is like back
Yeah,
BC times, like there's so much history there. And so I do want to go, but I
yeah,
know that I'm gonna have to like get over this like sort of
yeah.
uncomfortability, I guess.
I will say though, it's really just Cairo.
Okay.
And living there, I've realized there's so much more to Egypt than just Cairo and the pyramids. So there is like a hippie beach town called Dahab,
Okay.
and that's on the Red Sea, and it's like across from Jordan. You can take a boat over to
Oh,
Petra in
so
Jordan. Yeah.
cool.
And there you can wear whatever. And
Okay.
then in the north coast, which is like touches the Mediterranean and where Alexandria is, it's called Sahel and people go there for the summers and you
Okay.
can wear whatever you want there. And
Okay.
it's pretty bougie. So there's like different vibes. I don't want you
Different
to,
pockets.
yeah, like you
Yeah.
can wear whatever there. So
Not saying I need to be, ass out all the
yeah.
time, but I think it's just more of like what it means for the women that are there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I need to go either way.
Of course. And I
Definitely.
have an extra bedroom, so obviously,
Be there.
yeah.
Cheap ass flights. But so now I know you're still running Alam Digital while you're
Mhm.
over there. What are your clients like? Are they still like US based, or are they kind of like European, African? Like where are they at?
Yeah, majority are still US based.
Okay.
Thank goodness, because we love the US dollar. That's it. But I have been getting some Egyptian clientele.
Oh, cool.
So when I first moved there, I found a marketing position at this like local wellness center, and I got it like spot on
Yeah.
basically. And I was there for like 6 months, 5 or 6 months, and it was great. Like it was just what I needed. I didn't have any friends, obviously, so it provided this community and access to like, yeah, just people.
Yeah.
And then I do have how many? I have like two Egyptian clients right now. I'm doing their like website. And then I have friends that are American or Canadian
Mm-hmm.
that have moved to Egypt, and they've come on as clients too. So they're
Oh,
not like
cool.
Egyptian, but they're living there. So,
Okay.
it's really different because when I was living in Mexico in 2024, I didn't have any local clients.
Yeah.
And there's also a pretty big divide, I want to say, of like locals and foreigners like mixing together. There's like this
Okay.
tension, obviously, in Mexico City where it's like,
We
gringos
don't
get
want you
out.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar to Barcelona, I think.
Yeah.
And so there was like this like guilt that I felt living in Mexico City, just being like, maybe I am contributing to the gentrification here.
Yeah.
Cairo, like Egyptians are so friendly. They love foreigners.
Okay.
In some cases, it's a little like too much where they prefer foreigners over their own people, which I'm like, come on now, like
Okay.
you know, like landlords are like, oh, I won't rent to but like local Egyptians.
Locals.
I want to only
Oh.
rent to foreigners because it's a money thing.
Yeah. It's like here too, but like Spain is kind of like here we found like the opposite, whereas like unless you could prove crazy amounts of money,
Um,
like they were really trying to only be able to rent to like the local Spaniards.
yeah,
But like I could see why in like Cairo would kind of be the opposite because they're like, no, let's get
yeah.
this money.
Yeah. So, I do have like, yeah, clientele there. It's just the pay is such a difference. So
Yeah.
I've definitely had to like work with their budgets, which is fine. Like my goal is to just make your shit look better online.
Yeah.
And so I definitely work with like all budgets and all friends and all that. But, yeah, I've just been really just in my apartment working on my laptop, very
Yeah.
like, which is why I admire what you've done here is like you've actually put yourself out there and like joined a co-working space and you've
Yeah.
continued, your brand and business here, and you have local clients here as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I'm like, I gotta step it up when I go back to
Yeah.
Cairo.
I mean, for me, it was like Leo and he'd already been spending a significant time at my apartment in Brooklyn,
Mhm.
and he was working from home too. And like I had my office in my apartment and he was just like working in the living room. And it was a really hard like
Yeah.
situation. We did it because it was like he didn't want to go back to Jersey and I had more space. And so we wanted to hang out and all of that stuff. But when we were moving here, I was like, I'm going to need to like leave the house. Like he's such a homebody. And so I was like, he's going to be home all day. Like I'm going to need somewhere that I can go and like be with people and like
Yeah.
meet people and have like a separate space from just like being at home. So I found Juno and it was great because for me, like I had been working at home by myself for like 4 years.
Mhm.
And the only people I dealt with were the people basically that I choose to deal with, which is like my clients and like my employees.
Mhm.
So for me, like the Soho House vibe like wasn't really my vibe. Oh my God, I did the walkthrough a couple weeks ago just to like see, and it was like the first place we went to. I was like, nope. I was like, I don't even want to continue this tour, but I did. It's just too broy for me. So with
Oh,
Juno, it's like aesthetically pleasing.
so pretty
It's
here.
all women only members.
Yeah.
Like, yes, men can come in as guests, but they cannot be members and they can't take like the workout classes and stuff like that. So it is a very female space and it just is so much nicer. Like I just haven't been around men in so long,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so great. And when I am, sometimes I'm like, "Ugh, this is why I like
Yeah.
this is why Leo is like the only man I'm ever around."
Yeah.
Because the rest of them, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But like for your clients, obviously they knew you had already been living in Mexico City at some point, and I'm sure they came on like new. So when you are talking to like new potential clients, like what does that conversation look like if they're US based? Like are they sometimes like skeptical because you're not US based? Like how does that work?
No, I don't know if I ever like bring it up right away. On my contact page, I actually say like currently I'm in Cairo.
Okay.
I don't know if they read that, but I just put it there just to sound cool. Living in Cairo has become a personality trait at this point for me. I'm like, oh, yeah. Like when I went back to Philadelphia a few weeks ago, I'm like, oh yeah, I live in Cairo, and everyone, it just sounded funny to me, but it's the truth.
Yeah, and everyone's probably like, "What?"
Yeah, and
Because
I'm
like
like,
that's not a typical place that people move to.
yeah. But yeah, clients don't have a problem with it. Uh, with the time zone, honestly, it works
It's
real.
so
It
nice.
really works out for me because I'm more of a night person anyway. So all of my client meetings are like after 5 p.m. So I get to work during the whole day and
Get
then
so much stuff
yeah,
done.
and then
Yeah.
present my stuff to my on my meetings at night. So versus if I lived in Asia, it'd be like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Like it's,
Yeah.
working remotely, you have to think about these things because
Yeah.
Bali is great, but like client meetings in the US are
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cairo is honestly like perfect for me. And we're only an hour difference. So
Yeah.
you get it. But yeah, I think I've actually had one client, she was like she watches my stories and she's like, "I want to visit Cairo. You look so like you're always partying and I want to party with you." And she said that on a meeting and I was like, "Yes. Like please come."
Please come to Cairo. Yeah. I mean, I think that's great because that was one of my like concerns. Because even though, I mean, a lot of our clients were based either in New York or DC. And even our DC clients, like, I think it was just something about us being close. And if we needed something like DC press was happening or whatever, it was like a quick, like
Mhm.
I would just drive down most
Mhm.
times. So it was like I was terrified at first to like tell my clients. And when I started to, some of them were like, "Oh, so you're closing your business?" And I was like, "No, like
Yeah.
it's 2026, like 2025. Like I'm still running it. I'm just like running it from a calmer, less expensive, cleaner place." And now everyone's fine with it, and for the most part, like yeah, for me, like I try not to schedule like my heart out is like 7 p.m.
Mm.
Like normally it's 1 p.m. or 6 p.m. I should say, 1 p.m. Eastern. But like if I have to, I'll get on a call that like ends at 7. But I really try to like stick to it and my clients do too. And even now, like, yeah, like you said, like I basically have a whole day of work
Mhm.
before the US is even like
Up.
awake
Yeah.
and moving and stuff. And it's really nice, honestly. I felt before like I was in just like getting up at 5 a.m. and like working from like 5 to 10. And then once my team came online, just like being available for them and then working sometimes until like 7, 8 o'clock at night because I just never had enough time in the day to like get shit done. And here I'm like, my cortisol levels are like
Mhm.
lowering, I'm like carefree, loving it. It's hard though.
No, I mean, we should be so it's like such a privilege. We should be so
Yeah.
grateful to have a remote job, like
Yeah.
to be able to do this because I was so depressed in the US.
Yeah.
And even whenever I go back, the depression hits me again and I'm just like, "Ah," like granted that, I love seeing my family and friends
Yeah.
sometimes. Um, but just that like I don't know, there's something that I'm never going to move back to the US.
No.
My mom keeps being like, "Why are you buying this and like furniture? You're gonna move back one day." I'm like, "No, I'm not, mom. Like,
Yeah.
I'm setting up roots."
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not I don't know, like I don't want to be that person that's like the US isn't what it used to be, but like in all reality like it really
Yeah.
isn't. And it's interesting here because, that's like the main topic of conversation anywhere right now is like what's going on in the US. And it's frustrating because as someone who's like trying to get away from there, it's like so annoying to like go somewhere or like meet new people. And like that's the first thing once they know you're from the US. They're like, oh, so like,
Yeah.
what, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this.
Well, it's funny because in Egypt, they're like, if I say I'm from America, the people are like, oh, I love America. I want to go there. Like they still have this like
Yeah.
American dream propaganda in their minds. And
Yep.
I get that. And obviously the money is better. Like,
Mhm.
because the Egyptian economy is like, it's really bad. Like people's
Yeah.
salary is probably anywhere from like $100 a month to $400. Like it's
Oh, wow.
really low.
Yeah.
And it's so people are just getting by.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's a struggle. Cost of living obviously is much lower, but
Yeah.
people are struggling, and I understand that. But it's like America has made itself seem like it's like the best place, but we all know the truth and what we see, and it's like it's so expensive. People are barely surviving, and
Yeah.
I mean, we can go into that
Yeah.
politics and stuff, but like it's
We're on vacation. Well, you're
Yeah.
on vacation.
Always.
Always on
Permanent vacation. But yeah, it's not as amazing as it seems. And also when people are always like, why did you move to Egypt? Like locals,
Mhm.
Egyptians, and they think it's like the craziest thing for someone from America to move to Egypt.
Yeah.
But I wasn't looking for like, I don't know. I try and explain to them, like, for me personally, moving here has been like the best decision I could make because I wanted a soft and slow life.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting there. Um and I work for myself, so it's like I can do whatever I want, but
Yeah.
it wasn't it might sound crazy to people on the outside, but I love that decision. I'm so happy I made it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks amazing anyways. And I think people want different things. And I think a lot of, millennial Americans right now are kind of thinking like, why am I spending all of this money on a tiny little box and I'm like stressed out and like the air I'm breathing is shit and there's way too many people here. And it's like, we don't want that. Like, there's so many people that were like, back when we first started, like I remember when I got fired from my first job, I was like devastated because in my mind, like you were supposed to stay at a job for like 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Like
Grow old with them. Yeah, that's crazy.
and I was like devastated and I was like, oh my God, I'm a failure. Like I'm never going to get a job again. Like I was absolutely devastated. And so to see like that mindset then versus like now, like I don't want to be like sitting in a tiny cubicle, every day and slaving away and someone looking over my shoulder every single time to like micromanage me, like I don't want to just like, that's why I love like Spain in general, because they're not like work to live.
Yeah.
They're like live and, work sometimes.
But they got rid of the siestas here?
No, they still have the siestas here. It's just like with tourism, it's like there's so many more tourists here. So they have to keep some stuff open. But if you're in certain neighborhoods, like some of the very local neighborhoods, especially, like shit is closed.
Yeah.
Like I try to tell my friends that when they like get flights that come in around like 3, 4, and I'm like, I'm gonna have like food at the house, and they're like, no, we'll go out. I was like, no, you won't, because you won't find anywhere to eat, like unless it's some sketchy looking something. But yeah, like the idea of like taking a nap during the day, like
love that.
Most of them don't start work until 10. We have some like stores near us, especially because we live out in Sands, that don't open until like noon, even during the week, like regular ass stores. And it's so funny because when I think about New York or I think about even just my hometown, like things open at like 8, 9 a.m. And the Spaniards here, like if you're up at that time here, it's like one of the most peaceful times because there's like nobody out.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's so great. I love it. And that's what I want too. Like like I don't want to be cliche and be like, oh, I'm in my soft girl era, but like I want that fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like I have been slaving away, it feels like, for so long. And like if I gotta work, like I might as well do it in an environment that like values rest and relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
Not an environment that's like, oh, you're done work. Okay, well now you need to go do this until like 1 a.m. and then get up and do it all over again. And it's like, I don't want to do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah.
But as far as like meeting new people, have you started building community? Like, how did you find these people?
Yeah. Actually, I was just thinking about talking about the US real quick, but when I went back like 2 weeks ago, I could tell such a big difference between like mental health within my friends and stuff and people I was like surrounding myself with in the
Hmm.
US versus the Egyptians that I've been surrounding myself with. And I was like, okay, I know I'm happy that
Made the right
I made the right
decision.
decision because there was just like, yeah, everyone's depressed.
It is so hard sometimes. Like I love all my friends and we have done such a great job of like keeping in touch and like
Yeah.
doing FaceTimes and stuff. But sometimes like I think that I'm like avoiding them because like I'm so happy,
Oh,
and like, sorry guys. But like all they're thinking about is like what Trump is doing and what's going on here and what prices are here and all
yeah.
these things that I'm just not like even considering because it's just not my life anymore.
Hmm.
And even though like yes, everyone would say like, "Oh my God, it's so amazing," but like realistically, like I haven't really gone anywhere in like months. I did like a couple mini trips, but it's not like I'm, traveling the world over here. I'm literally just in Barcelona, like living my life. And
Hmm.
it's like the happiest I've ever fucking been.
Yeah. You have to chase your own happiness. Like
Yeah. And you
it's
go and see your friends and you're like, oh, you like see the dark cloud,
Mhm.
kind of like in their soul and like above their head. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm glad I made the decision.
Yeah. No, one of my best friends is moving to Barcelona and I'm like now that I'm here, I've been here walking around for a few days. I'm like so happy that I'm like
Yeah.
excited for her. I'm
She's
like,
going to love it.
this is gonna be a good move for you. But yeah, back to community. Yeah, a lot of people they're like, how do you make friends as an adult living in a foreign country?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly I've been really lucky. So I moved not knowing anybody. And I just started signing up for different workshops. Like I followed a bunch of different Instagram accounts that held
Okay.
workshops or events, and I just started showing up. So I would do like a candle making workshop, and I met people there.
Cute.
And like while we're making candles, we're like, oh, let's get dinner after, you know? Or I went like I did kayaking on the Nile one day on a
Oh,
Saturday.
so fun.
And one of the people I met on that trip is now here in Barcelona. She came as well. So it's like
I
I've
love that.
made, long-term friends just by going out there and putting myself out there. And I go to a lot of things solo and I end up always with like a ROI. I always end up with like a new
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Because I just start to chat or I just butt myself into a conversation.
Yeah.
Even if they don't speak English, I'm like, just smile.
Like,
Yeah, I'm over
hey.
here. And then the other way is through Instagram and threads. Like
Okay.
people have either slid into my DMs being like,
Oh,
hey, I live here too, want to be friends? I'm like, heck yeah.
okay. Cute.
Um, or blocked if you're a man.
Yeah,
My
don't everyone try it.
block list has grown immensely after moving to Egypt because they are so thirsty there. And then threads, yeah, just like threads is great because the algorithm there kind of depending on where you are or what you even like if you're talking about the city you're in, it'll show your, thread or whatever your posts to people in that city.
Okay.
So I've gotten a lot of people that I've found or have found me just because I'm like talking about Cairo. So
Okay.
yeah, it's been great. And I have like such a great little community there. I don't feel overwhelmed. I'm excited to see everybody. We just meet up for shisha and like
Love
shoot
that.
the shit or we co-work together. And yeah, I love my friends there.
I love that. Yeah, it is so hard. I feel like making friends in your 30s. Like for me, I feel like it's like I spent so much time in New York, sort of like being my New York Jess, And I
Mm-hmm.
like when I first moved here and, especially in New York, like there's a lot more brown people there, you
Yeah.
know? And so coming here, it was kind of like I'd spend a good majority of time in Brooklyn, like really making friends, like Black female friends, especially, and having those female friendships. And so coming here where everyone is like 98% white or some sort of, you know, European white, it was difficult because I'm like, I want to be true to myself. I want to continue to be myself, but I'm not sure if my New York, Brooklyn Jess, you know, like resonates and like
Yeah.
transfers over here. And thankfully,
The
you know,
Vermont Jess, right?
yeah, and Vermont Jess too. Like there's the Brooklyn Vermont Jess. And I think like the Vermont Jess obviously like translates better over
was
here.
saying, yeah.
You know, I had to like channel that for a while. But I think that was nice too because not saying like New York made me hard or anything like that, but I definitely think when I first moved to New York, like and went to college there, you know, I did have to sort of like get hard. I did have to sort of change my personality and change who I was because, you know, for everyone in New York, like I wasn't like Black enough, you know, and but everyone in Vermont, like I wasn't white enough. So I was like in this weird, and then, you know, you eventually find your people and stuff, but it's like that was a hard thing for me here. And especially because it's like there's this idea of like how the Catalans like view outsiders and view expats and stuff too. So it's like I want to show them that like I appreciate you guys, like love the culture, love the food, love the language, you know, but also, you know, give them a little bit of something, a little flair as well, you know? So, but it's been fun. And I think it's fun too, because when you meet new people, you kind of learn new things about yourself as well.
Yeah. I mean, moving abroad is just reinventing yourself. So it's been, and that's, I love a good rebrand. I love starting over. That's just like, yeah, I think that's, I've moved around a lot as a kid. So I'm kind of used to starting over.
Yeah.
Like I started, we moved around following my dad's job like 4 or 5 times, I'd say,
Yeah.
growing up. So yeah, this is kind of like the life that I'm used to.
Yeah.
But I also try and lay low when I'm living abroad. I'm not like, I'm kind of living there legally. So it's like, let me just lay low. I'm not trying to cause no trouble.
Yeah. You
I'm
know, just live a chill life.
just with my laptop. Just let me work in peace. But yeah, no, it's been great, and the community there is fun. So, and I have so many like Egyptian friends there as well. So it's been great because I have like a community of other women that are from abroad, a lot from Europe, a few from the U.S., some others from different countries in Africa. So I have like that perspective, but then also a lot of local friends, and they're so fun. They're teaching me Arabic. They're just like, yeah, it's been a like compared to my life in Mexico City where it was just foreigners that were in my circle, like it's a really good mix that I've you know,
like people that are actually from there.
Yeah.
Local life. I
Yeah.
love that. So what are your next plans for 2026, or what are your goals for the rest of the year?
Yeah. So my goals, let's see, just to get locked in and get swole. I mean, I've been in the gym.
Okay.
Like that was one of my words this year was like consistency and discipline.
Okay.
I have like a word every year.
Okay.
Last year was commitment, and that's why I committed to like nesting and getting an apartment and like settling down in Cairo a little bit. So this year I started going to the gym. I'm not afraid of the machines anymore. Like, yeah, no, it was like a big thing for my confidence. And yeah, so just kind of just working out, getting in shape, mental health as well. Business wise, my goals are, I mean, I'm just in a very chill place.
Yeah.
I've just been
enjoying
I'm
it.
just floating, I'm chilling. I don't need much to live in Egypt, which is
That's good.
a privilege. We can talk about money too. If you mind, Daddy wanted to ask me that. It's like, how much is your apartment? I love talking about money. But I am thinking about kind of starting a like women's mastermind a little bit.
Okay.
So the type of strategy and consulting I do with my clients weekly, as I'm designing their website, I want to provide that for like a group of women. virtually as well. So I'm working on that. So stay tuned. But yeah, I just love telling people how they should run their business.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm like, you're doing this wrong.
Yeah, I'm like, you're doing this very wrong.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, you were talking about money. Yeah, like I think that's been one of the biggest questions that everybody asks, and it is a very like US American thing to like talk about money. Like most people, like cultures don't really, but Americans like love to talk about money. But like, yeah, like between like what you were paying, like say in like Philly and even in Mexico, like how much are you saving like, being in Cairo?
Saving is a strong
not
word.
Spending on bills, I guess.
Not saving much. No, like honestly, moving to Cairo has been transformational for me. I will say that. In many ways, like financially, yes, I've lost like 17 pounds. So that's like a hooray for me. So physically, yes, I'm like happier there. But financially, we can talk about that. So I pay about like $500 in rent for a 2-bedroom. And that could be seen as like on the higher end for some places too.
Okay.
There's also places that are like 1,000, maybe 1,200, just because the landlords there are kind of like,
they like
the
know.
foreigners are, yeah. And they're more modern places, but I have like a cute little vintage, I call it my Cairo casita. Super simple place. I love it. I'm just decorating the shit out of it right now. And yeah, cost of living is very low. Like food is very affordable.
Yeah.
Again, privilege of having the US dollar.
Yeah.
And I've been able to, for last year, I was able to pay off like 15K in like tax debt.
Oh, wow.
Because one, I had an amazing client that came in and it was a huge project. So most of that I put towards paying off a lot of my debt. So yeah, it's been really like a good move for me to kind of just like rebalance my chakras in my life a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
And I will say like yeah. I really appreciate living there too because I'm able to one be like kind of in the center of so much. Like I love just where Cairo's situated. I can get to Europe, I can get to Africa and Asia super fast.
Yeah.
But also because of my low expenses, I don't feel guilty like traveling or like spending too much. Because some of these places for 2 nights is it costs as much as my apartment for a month. So I'm like,
that's weird.
Yeah, I'm like, that's so high.
I know. That's so crazy and so wonderful. I mean, obviously here, like the prices were so much lower. Like the first time I was like, I'm going to move to Spain.
Yeah.
But even now, like I would say like per month in New York, I was paying like $5K for expenses.
Okay.
That included my apartment that I was paying by myself, my car payment, phone, electric, like all that shit. That wasn't even including like groceries and just like maybe trying to go out every now and then. Here, I think like max maybe like $1,200 a month.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
Like
you're also splitting costs?
That is splitting.
Okay, yeah.
Like splitting costs, like that is what it is.
Yeah.
Like I would say absolute max, maybe like 1,500, but I think that's pushing it. So like I'm not spending, like $3,500 a month.
Yeah.
In expenses. Like obviously getting rid of my car was really big and not having a $3,000 apartment was really a big deal too. But it's just like so crazy because even my phone, like my Verizon bill in the States was like $150, sometimes like $180 a month. Here, girl, I go to Orange, I pay 20 euros a month for my fucking phone and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Like, why?
Yeah.
And like, that's why when people are always like, oh my God, I want to move to New York. I'm like, why? To waste your savings? Like,
yeah. No, I'd say for Philadelphia, it was like my expenses were like, my apartment was like 1,800. So let's say like 2,500 a month with my car, food, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like half of New York. But now it's like probably less than 1,000. Yeah. So big difference.
Such a big difference.
And you also realize like, for me, I wanted to live this like life that I thought from the outside would look cool to others, and like oh, I have my shit together. Oh, I have this like dream loft that I'm living in. And that was nice and all, but I just couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Clients would ghost or I would not, like my money every month is very fickle.
Yeah, same.
Freelancing. And so I was like, I need to stop like trying to live like this molded version of myself that I think looks good on the internet or looks good to other
Yeah.
people. And let me just get back to basics. And
Yeah.
that's why I sold everything, went nomadic,
Yeah.
was much happier. And I realized like the goals and dreams you sometimes have isn't the actual life you want to live.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember, thinking to myself, like, I'm going to die in New York. Like, I'm never leaving New York.
Damn.
Like,
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to like grow old
Yeah.
in New York. And then it just like hit me and I was like, I'm not happy here anymore and I want to leave.
Yeah.
And it was like such a quick thought. And that's why when like Leo and I were like kind of going back and forth on whether, he wanted to like actually move to Spain too, I was just like, I have traveled the US multiple times. I've done like 4 or 5 different road trips.
Mhm.
I've been to every major cool city, some quote unquote uncool. Like I've been all over. And there is nowhere else in the United States of America that I would ever want to live.
Yeah.
And New York is just way too expensive. And it was just, I mean, it probably still is. I haven't been there in over a year. Dirty and like it was just gross,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, yes, like shout out the Knicks, like all that good shit. My life was there for 15 years. I spent just as much time in New York as I basically did in Vermont, but at the same time it was like I'm sick and tired of struggling. I'm sick and tired of just like being inside my house all the time because walking out my front door costs me like $200.
Oh my gosh.
Like you leave your house or even think about leaving your house and it costs you like $100.
You
like,
breathe, yeah.
Yeah. Like you breathe the outdoor air, $500.
Yeah.
And yeah, like when I moved here too, like I haven't been on a scale in so many years. I avoid them. But like I've lost so much weight since living here too in the last year and a half. I'm so much healthier. Like I would never bike in New York. Like I used to walk around that city. Now I would never walk around that city. Like it's just gotten too crazy. I bike here, I walk here, like everything. And I'm just so much healthier. And of course, like the food isn't like shoved with all this processed bullshit like it is back in the States.
Yeah.
So it's just like so much healthier here. And it's funny that, we grew up in a place where it was like, you should be lucky that you live here. Like you should be lucky that you're living the American dream. And like, this is the best place. Like there's nowhere else that you should. And then you like go out into the world and you're like, we've been told a lie.
Yeah, I can see through like all the propaganda now with a lot of things. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe this was like, I've been fed all of this.
Yeah.
And I believed it.
Yeah, I really did. I believed that the US was the greatest nation in the world, as far as like standard of living and happiness and all this and education and housing. Like we were pushed to believe that like you could only get the best in the US.
We are the worst and we are the problem is what I realized. We are an international problem.
Yeah. And it's becoming so much more apparent to me. And, I think that I still have some friends that are like out of sight, out of mind, but then I'm just like, but you still are kind of like miserable, but it's like to each their own. Like I'm out.
Yeah. Like
that's all that matters.
Not everyone can move abroad, obviously. Yeah. But if you have free will, if you have the opportunity, like, just do it.
If you have the finances,
yeah,
it is expensive, just to like get out, I feel like, but I think too, it's like people are holding on to things, like for me, so many people were like, oh, so are you going to like ship over like your furniture and all of that?
Oh my
and
gosh,
I was like, no. I'm like, get rid of that shit. I'm starting a new life. I want new furniture, new art, new
Facebook
everything.
Marketplace is in every country.
Yeah.
Like I realized like if people are living there, period, I can also live there.
Yeah.
Like I don't need much.
Exactly.
Just, yeah.
And I think what I learned from my like road trips too, because some of them, one of the ones I took was right after my roommate and I were like, we're not re-signing a lease. You know, it was October 2020. That's when our lease was up. And she was like, I'm not re-signing. I'm gonna stay in Florida with my parents. You know, my job is still remote. So like it doesn't make sense for me to come back to the city and spend all this money. And I was like, word, get that. And for me, I was like, well, I can't afford an apartment by myself right now. So my plan was to like go home and like stay with my best friend for like a couple of months. And then I was like, well, I think I'm just going to go on like a 2-month road trip. So like I had my friend Matt was like, you weren't really homeless. And I was like, no, I guess like in the technical terms, I wasn't, but I actually didn't have like a lease or anything like that. I literally just had my car and like the shit in my car, you know, and I went out on a 2-month road trip just to kind of like be gone with the wind. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. And I love the fact that I can pack my life in a car and like I'm not super stressed about all of my things. Like I don't want to be a thing person, you know? Like I want to be free to move about.
Yeah.
Like paper in the wind.
Yeah. I realized that too when I moved from Philadelphia to Chicago in September of 2020. And I was like, okay, everything. Obviously, I hired a moving truck and that was a whole thing. So I did move with furniture, but the freedom of having everything in my car and like I eventually moved back with just things in my car back to Philadelphia. But that was like, you know, if people are looking to possibly move out of the States and they're kind of scared of where to start, like do it in a different city and see.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of also, I'd say, my first step of figuring out how to do it by myself was moving just city to city first. And then that kind of prepared me to have the freedom to be like, okay, now let's take it a step up and move out of the country. But you don't need any of that shit. You can always rebuy everything, re-update your style, or just live minimally in any country. Like
I got rid of so many clothes when I moved over here, and so many I should have gotten rid of, but I got rid of so much shit and it just felt great, you know, like what is that lady? The Marie Kondo lady, you know, just do that to your
spark
life.
joy.
Yeah. I sparked joy and joy is on fire.
Sparked a few things as well.
Yeah.
Dr. Do.
Yeah, shout out Dr. Dill. But I'm so excited to, you know, go to the concert tonight, hang out. I'm excited for your journey as you continue in Cairo and wander about the world and all of that good stuff. I'm excited for our continued friendship and building. I love friends abroad. It also made me feel cool to be like, yeah, I have a friend coming from Cairo. So I feel it too. But where can everybody find you, catch up with you, all the good things?
Yeah, so I am at Ring the Alam, ALAM, and then my business is Alam Digital. So I'm just chronically online. You can find me anywhere. Just Google me. Yeah. No.
Love that. And of course, you guys can always find us at High on Feminism. We'll be back with another special episode of Where Are They Now?
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun. Gracias.
Thank you.